What's your and everybody clapped story that's actually true? When I was 8, my dad worked at this tiny warehouse where they packaged bubble wrap. Nothing fancy, just a place where guys in their 40s punched a time clock and tried to pay rent. My dad was the only black guy there, and some of his coworkers made sure he never forgot it. They'd leave racist notes in his lunchbox, move his tools so he'd waste time looking for them, call him boy, even though he was 35 with a college degree. Management pretended not to notice because the guys doing it had been there longer. Dad never talked about work at home, but I could tell something was wrong. He'd come home exhausted, not the fun tired from playing basketball, but the heavy kind that made him sit in his car for 10 minutes before coming inside. One Tuesday, I forgot my lunch money, and Dad had to bring it to school. When I got to the main office, I saw him talking to the secretary about his volunteer hours. Turns out, he'd been reading to kindergarten classes every Thursday during his lunch break for 2 months. The kids called him Mr. Kevin and always asked when he was coming back. That same day, the warehouse got a surprise health inspection. The inspector found serious safety violations that could shut them down. Broken equipment, chemical spills, blocked emergency exits. Someone had reported it anonymously. But here's the thing. The biggest violation was in the break room where my dad ate lunch every day. The guys who tormented him had been storing paint thinner next to the microwave and coffee maker for months. Dad knew it was dangerous, but figured nobody would listen to him anyway. The inspector told management they had 24 hours to fix everything or face massive fines. The crew chief started screaming at everyone, demanding to know who snitched. Dad just sat quietly eating his sandwich. Then the inspector pulled out a folder. Inside were photos of every violation, taken with professional lighting and detailed notes about safety codes. The timestamp showed they were taken during night shift when only security was supposed to be there. The crew chief looked at Dad. "You took these pictures?" Dad nodded. "Yep, got tired of wondering if I'd make it home safe every day." "You trying to get us all fired?" "Nope, trying to keep us all alive." The inspector backed Dad up, explaining how the violations could have killed someone. The paint thinner near the microwave could have caused an explosion. The blocked exits meant people would die in a fire. Management had to choose between fixing the problems or losing their license. They fixed everything that night, working until 4 a.m. When Dad showed up the next morning, something had changed. The guys who used to mess with him were sitting at his usual table in the break room. When he walked over, they all stood up. One of them, this guy named Pete, who'd been the worst, cleared his throat. "Kevin, we owe you an apology. All of us." The whole break room went quiet. About 15 guys total. Pete continued, "What you did took guts. You could have just found another job, but you stayed and made this place safer for everybody, including us jerks who didn't deserve it." Another guy stepped forward. "We've been acting like idiots. Worse than idiots. And you saved our asses anyway." Then something incredible happened. Every single person in that break room started clapping. Not the slow, dramatic movie clap, just regular applause like you'd hear at a school assembly. Dad told me later that Pete apologized privately and asked if they could start over. 2 other guys admitted they'd been too scared to speak up before, but were grateful someone finally did. The racist notes stopped completely. People started including Dad in conversations about weekend plans and their kids' soccer games. When the company handed out safety bonuses 6 months later, they gave Dad the biggest one.